Hello, my name is Ray Gehring, guitar teacher here in Brooklyn, New York. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. So I'm sure we've all heard the old adage, the road to success is paved with millions of mistakes. Okay, great. That's a great platitude, but it doesn't talk to the feeling. It doesn't speak to the emotion or the feelings that we get when we make mistakes, when we feel like we're not making progress, that we just keep coming up against the same issues over and over again. If you're not making mistakes, you're not making progress. And really all that means is if you're really working up to those points where things begin to fall apart, that is the road to progress. Everything builds upon itself. Progress is just a series of steps that is a series of steps built one upon the other. Making progress on guitar sometimes just does not feel like winning. Progress can feel like confusion, can lead to self-doubt, can lead to feelings of inadequacy. I know it did for me. I felt like I keep making the same mistake. I'm never going to get it. I feel inadequate. Everybody else seems to be able to get this except for me. Well, those were the moments that I was actually slogging it out and putting in the work to get it done. But that's when we're closest to real growth. Those moments really are the darkest hour before the dawn, so to speak. Making progress can feel frustrating, can make you angry, can make you want to put the guitar down and sometimes not even pick it up again. Don't do like I did. I got so frustrated one night during a rehearsal. I was playing through this brand new, beautiful Marshall amplifier. It wasn't mine, it was someone else's. And it was just me in the room setting up, and I plugged in, and here I thought I would immediately sound like, maybe like Stevie Ray Vaughan or Hendrix or whomever I was listening to at the time. And I sounded horrible. I mean, it just wasn't happening. After the second try, I took off the guitar and I just threw it. And these were, hard vinyl floors. Nothing happened to the guitar, but I actually got so frustrated, so demoralized that I threw the guitar. I think it was just the shock of hearing it hit the ground that taught me don't ever do that again. It's not the guitar's fault. I needed to learn patience, pure and simple, and I did not have it. After that initial frustration and tossing a guitar, I realized that great players were the ones that were constantly making mistakes, constantly pushing themselves to get the song to the next level, to get it to how it's supposed to be played, and just really getting into where the hands give up. So if I were to go back and talk to my younger self, I would just simply say, just be patient, work at it, it will come. But getting really, really frustrated means you're really putting in the work to make progress. But progress isn't born out of those moments of, being on stage or really nailing it in the practice room or wherever you're playing. Progress comes at those ugly moments, those moments where your fingers are just not getting it and you're missing every note, you're botching rhythms here and there, you're just failing. Failing means progress. It's those moments that make progress. It's like a sculptor. Let's just relate this to a sculptor. We see a big stone, and the sculptor is staring at the stone, knowing what they want to make it into. And now comes this painstaking process of chipping away at the stone to get the final image or the final piece of art. So that stone could be our song. We're chiseling away at it, trying to figure out the spots that are, causing us problems. We're working through each chord and or working through the solo, each note, and we're getting it down. Those things build on each other. The progress is built on, brick by brick, step by step, hurdle by hurdle. So yeah, how you get good at guitar, you make a million mistakes and you keep at it. You push up against those moments where it feels like you just can't get it under your fingers, and then slow it down some more until you really feel where that finger is failing, and then isolate that. Just keep massaging that until you get somewhere. Those are the moments where progress is really being made. It's sort of like progress lurks in the shadows. It's just waiting to jump out when it wants to, but it's watching us as we're doing all this hard work. And but it's there. It just doesn't come when you call it. So those moments where you feel like you're just not getting it, that's progress. Those moments where you just want to put the guitar down forever, that's progress. The process of making progress doesn't change. It still sits in these ugly moments of slogging out on the fretboard. The hurdles are always there. They're just a little easier to overcome, or they're a little easier to negotiate, might be a better way to put it. So the best players have made the most mistakes. So also I want to address the word talent. I remember back in music school hearing a vocal coach say, "Oh, talent. Yeah. Talent is a word that people hide behind because they're too afraid to put in the work." And agree or disagree, I felt like, wow, that was a pretty powerful statement. Talent is a word that people hide behind when they're afraid to put in the real work. Something to chew on. In my years of teaching, those who had the most talent or aptitude for the guitar, many of them were the first to quit, because as soon as things got hard, they just got bored. They didn't want to go on anymore. And I would imagine that's the same with a lot of things in their life. It's not just guitar. Having talent is just not necessary. Having a desire, a passion to do so is the first and foremost thing you got to have to be a musician, right? You got to have like the desire to do it. Just having talent is just a nebulous word. It's sort of empty meaning. I mean, yes, there are people who are very talented at something, but those aren't the people that always succeed at what they're trying to accomplish. So if you get burned out and you just feel, I can't do this anymore, I got to stop, I'm tired of practicing this, take a break, breathe, but don't quit just because you've come up against a hurdle that you can't break through. Stay with it, give it 5 more times, or play it, 10 more times through, and then put it down, because those are the moments where progress is lurking. It's really important when I'm practicing to also make sure that I have something in which I have flow, that I can play and brings me that joy of playing, because practicing shouldn't, because when you're playing, not everything should be a challenge or a practice. You need those moments to recharge, to regroup. And the songs that we can already play, or the solos we can already play, those bring a certain amount of joy. So take time to play what you already know, perfect it, or use it to find that flow, that rhythm that puts you in a mind frame to actually sit down and work on some of the harder things. But don't quit just because you've come up against a hurdle that you can't break through. Stay with it, give it 5 more times, or play it, 10 more times through, and then put it down, because those are the moments where progress is lurking. Yeah, real progress just isn't obvious when it's happening. It really is after some of those times where we're just tired of working and missing the same notes over and over again. Progress then suddenly comes 2 days later, and we haven't even touched the guitar. That's how this works. We all struggle. We all fail. I think we all feel those moments of inadequacy, and we're never going to get it, and we're not good enough. That is actually putting in the time to make progress. If I'm getting that frustrated, that means I'm actually putting the time in on the instrument, and that's a good thing. It just doesn't feel like progress. So again, progress just doesn't always feel like winning. It feels ugly. It feels frustrating, but it's real, and it is happening, and it happens in those moments, in the darkest hours before the dawn. The hard truth about practicing and progress is that, we see ourselves in the end result. Like when you close your eyes, what do you imagine yourself, or where do you imagine yourself playing or being? For me, when I close my eyes, I always imagine myself on a stage with people in front of me. So, that was always my goal, what I saw in my mind. But boy, it's a long road to there sometimes, and it's that process, that road that you really have to get comfortable with, because you are making progress. It just is one, foothill, one mountain, one thing at a time. It just takes some effort. But effort means progress. Mistakes mean progress. Real growth feels like confusion. It feels like frustration and doubt, but that's when you know it's real. Making mistakes is not failure. It may feel like it, but it's not. It's progress. I just want people to know that those moments where it feels like nothing is going to happen, nothing's changing, nothing is coming together, it doesn't feel right, those are the moments that tell you that you're doing the right thing. It's just sometimes you need a break, and just know that the progress may not come right away, but it's around the corner. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. I hope there's some things in there that were helpful to you. Please leave any comments below on where did you see the most progress. I want to hear about those breakthrough moments that people have had after working on something particularly difficult. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Please take care.